it. This is the basic need, and therefore, on this issue, there is a need for pan-India organizations to handle tourism over and above organizations already existing, both in the government in every state as well as in the private sector. With this view in mind, there has been the thought that pan-India organizations which have developed, beginning with ITDC in the early 60s. There have not been many other organizations to handle tourism at a pan-India level. Before I give a brief idea about how IRCTC is an all-India organization moving on the strength of the largest and the most efficient supply chain in the world, namely the Indian Railways, I will cut out a few issues for brevity's sake with respect to trends in tourism and things like that, since those are more academic in nature, except to say that notwithstanding the inbound market or what is called the foreign tourist market into India, domestic tourism is an issue which has to be seriously addressed. Very seriously addressed by serving managers, policymakers, and also budding entrepreneurs who are going to enter the market tomorrow. The very objective of this aspect is that tourism is a national integrator. It shall alleviate poverty, it shall do fulfill many other needs, but national integration becomes an important and critical issue with respect to looking at tourism, especially domestic tourism, across these 30 states of India. Keeping that in mind, there is a tremendous opportunity which is awaiting to happen to bring in professionals from every institute, from every educational institution, both in private and government sector, to come into this industry to look at and stress and address the issues of domestic tourism from the point of view of national integration. IRCTC as an organization is an organization which is pan-India and which is a young organization, just about 8 to 10 years old. And it is into this aspect of rail-bound tourism, especially domestic tourism, that IRCTC has been a trailblazer. I would prefer to basically under-promise and over-deliver. Hence, I would not really get into the issue of addressing or mentioning to you about the revenue growth and the aspects of IRCTC, except to say that it's an opportunity to look at with respect to the fact that we need well-rounded professionals from academia to begin with, to face the challenge of belonging to a public sector organization which have been commanding heights of the economy, as our founding fathers of our constitution said. So there's no reason why such an opportunity should go unmissed. During my visit to Pondicherry University last year, I was one among many others who have been impressed about the awesome growth in infrastructure, both soft and hard, in the university, and the contribution of Professor Thareen on this issue is all there to see. Society recognizes builders, not maintainers. So let's understand that if this infrastructure has been built, then something intangible in terms of skill sets has to come out of it. And once you all enter the industry, and you interact with us, then the theme is very simple. Education begins after the degree ends. When such an aspect happens, then there are various other issues which need to be addressed from the point of view of my suggestions which I'd like to give in order to understand how such institutionalization of the tourism with respect to proper skill sets being generated from the industry, from the institutes like Pondicherry University, onto the industry will mean. There are a few suggestions here. One of the important aspects of tourism is that it is a service industry, so therefore the products are intangible and created and destroyed continuously. Hence, the HR or human resource aspect in tourism becomes a very critical aspect with a necessary condition of an infrastructure being available. Infrastructure alone is not adequate. It is just necessary but not sufficient to handle a tourism product. There is a need for training. There is a suggestion that the domain knowledge of students has to be increased in areas of geography and in areas of languages, as was mentioned by Dr. Goyal. It's important that there has to be a compulsory language, either a foreign language or an Indian language, which the student should learn as part of the curriculum, which the student should learn, Dr. Rao, as part of the curriculum, which is very important because that leads to this issue of interaction and sets the stage for a concept of national integration over a period of time among the youth of India. There is also another suggestion which I'd like to give, is that there should need to be a comeback program of university pass-outs who should come back to the school and give the reaction as how the curriculum has to be adjusted, how it has to be tweaked on the point of view of the demands of the industry. Because in such sessions, it may be difficult beyond a point of 1 or 2 days to understand the interaction, whether it will be difficult because the students don't have the experience. They need to get to the industry, get the experience, come back to school, and then give the return feedback loop to the curriculum organizers and curriculum policy makers to make the curriculum more important. The second aspect is about the fact that the placement process. So it's important here, as far as the placement process is concerned, the model of such of those very established business schools in this country like the IIMs need to be studied to have an idea about how the placement process, placement aspects can be further dovetailed to understand. The students should not just disappear into the market. They need to come back onto the industry, onto the school to handle the requirements of making sure that the curriculum is worked out. So with these very few words, I'm very happy to have been invited over here, and also the fact that what we have done is a very modest effort to look at recruiting a few students to begin this process of understanding how industry institute interaction can happen through the practical process of students coming out to the public sector, learning, experiencing, and becoming a billion entrepreneurs. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. The manner of giving is worth more than the gift. It's a pleasure to honor our dignitaries on this special occasion. I now request Head the Department of Tourism Studies, Dr. Y. Venkata Rao, to honor Professor M. Ramdas. I now request Professor M. Ramdas to honor Shri Subhash Goyal with a Ponade and a memento. Thank you, sir.
Good morning, one and all. Esteemed dignitaries, respected faculty members, officials, media, and my student friends. It's my proud privilege to stand in front of you to propose vote of thanks for the versatile guest and respected audience of the inaugural section of this premier event of Department of Tourism Studies, Akanksha. A fitting opening as this for the two-day grandeur event has indeed motivated all the stakeholders of department. let me do my responsibility of proposing vote of thanks to Professor J.A.K. Tharin, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Pondicherry University. He is a true motivator and source of inspiration, and his sheer presence ignites our minds to do something noble. On behalf of Department of Tourism Studies, I express heartfelt gratitude to our Vice Chancellor, the chief guest of our inaugural function, Akansha 2012. The Akansha 2012 is blessed with a charismatic presence of outstanding personal regarded as one of the stalwarts of Indian tourism industry. Sir Sri Subhash Goyal, President of IATO and Stick Travels. Sir, kindly accept our sincere gratitude for taking this function to a high level. We have yet another towering personality, Sri V. Sriram, Regional Director, IRCTC, who was blessed one of the earliest editions of Akansha 2. Sir, we are indebted to you for such an inspiring keynote address. Professor M. Ramadas, Director of Studies and Dean School of Management, Pondicherry University, is our guardian angel, and his encouragement has really elevated us performance. Sir, we are very much thankful for your felicitation of this occasion. I take this opportunity to express gratitude to our beloved Head of Department, Dr. Y. Venkatrao, who has always led by an example and encouraged us to do things differently and meticulously. I also thank the respective faculty members of DTS, research scholars, office managers, and administrative staffs of various departments of Pondicherry University who contributed for this Akansha 2012. We are grateful to the media for covering the event. Last but not least, I would join my student friends of DTS cheer all the best for the great event. Thank you.